Congestion, traffic tie-ups, we all love these words, right?
Yeah, how do you fix all this exactly? Well, Jason is here to tell us about, there's a new group that's wanting to make some improvements. This would be specifically in the Northwest Metro from like Broomfield to Boulder to the Longmont area.
Yeah, it's exactly right. The group is called Commuting Solutions, and they have identified several roads and highways that Metro Denver that they say need work.
Highway 119 that connects Boulder to Longmont, State Highway 7 that goes all the way from Boulder to Brighton, Highway 287, South Boulder Roads. We have 6 other corridors in the Northwest Metro region that really need attention.
Now, it's one thing to identify these roads that need improvement. It's another thing to get funding to pay for it. The state and local governments are dealing with a tremendous backlog of projects, so Commuting Solutions admits it's going to be hard to find that money. Now, Commuting Solutions is hosting a town hall this morning at the Broomfield Auditorium to talk about their issues. They're asking all the businesses and their communities to join them at looking at the budget and the needs for the region. It's no secret the state transportation funding is not kept up with growth here. We've had so rapid growth. Right. CDOT says it's got a backlog of, get this, $9 billion in projects. B billion.
The fluctuating weather doesn't help our highway folks.
No, it does not.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thanks, Jason. If you've ever had a post removed from Facebook and wondered why, well, you can find out now.
Facebook released a 27-page document of community standards. This outlines the reasons for removing content.
All right, here's what's not allowed. Posts that include violence or criminal behavior, threats to public safety, objectionable content.
Also banned are inauthentic posts like spam, fake news, along with posts that violate intellectual property.
And this comes as a new poll reveals most Americans are changing their social media habits after the Cambridge Analytica scandal. The Associated Press poll finds 7 of 10 adults have unfollowed accounts, deleted profiles, or made other changes on Facebook.
Not really clear if people are going to make these changes permanently, but Facebook says it hasn't seen a significant decline in usage since the stories. In other words, they haven't lost a lot of people so far. Yeah, we'll see. So the weekly grocery ads are out.
YouGrocery.com says some of the best deals this week at King Soopers are half off ribeye steaks, bell peppers, and mission flour tortillas. King Soopers also has a special on Tide. The 50-ounce size is $3.99 with a digital coupon.
At Safeway, Lysol cleaners are more than half off with a digital coupon. There's also a buy 5 and save promo that brings the price of all detergent and Snuggle fabric softener to just $1.99. Also, Ortega taco shells, now 99 cents.
Yet another blow to President Trump's plan to end the DACA program. A judge says the government has to start taking new applications. How that ruling will impact Colorado.
The pair of police departments are teaming up to create a new task force focused on sexual assault. How they're making it easier for victims to feel comfortable about coming forward. Just about 6:30, here's a look at the top stories this morning. Colorado's first ever task force aimed at combating sexual assault is announced today. It's a pilot program being funded by a $700,000 federal grant. The announcement is this afternoon. We'll be there and have details on later editions of Denver 7.
Denver International Airport is hoping for more than $100 million for upgrades and repairs. But before it spends a single cent, it needs approval from a Denver City Council committee. One of the more expensive requests is $45 million to improve the baggage system.
The city of Denver is looking for a new police chief. Chief Robert White is retiring. The city says it plans to replace him with either a current member of the police force or a retired member of the department's command staff.
Denver 7 News starts right now.
Good morning if you're just joining us, and happy Wednesday. I'm Molly Hendrickson.
Yeah, and I'm Mitch Jellicoe. Glad you're here. Today's weather looks really, really nice,
yes.
Lisa.
You could add a few more reallys in that sentence. Really? It's going to be really, really, really nice. We've got 30s this morning, mostly sunny skies. That drive into work is going to be cool but clear, really bright on the eastbound drive. This afternoon, driving home, we're in the 60s, mid to upper 60s for highs, so it's going to be a nice day. It's not only clear, it's also calm, and you've got highs anywhere from 64 in Westminster to 67 right around DU, and then some mid 60s near Aurora and Centennial. That's by about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and it's going to stay mild through about 6. This is the issue, though, this morning in spots. Now, that's Colorado Springs there, looking from Pikes Peak, and you can see all the low-lying clouds. So they're under some pretty good cloud cover and fog right now, but plenty of sunshine above that. So once this clears up, it's going to be bright. But it's pretty bright for us already here in Denver, Jace. Most of that is going to be south of the metro area.
Yep, we do have some of that fog. I'll show it to you in just a second. I want to start with Air Tracker 7, where you can still see some of the real slow traffic and the hazy conditions that we're dealing with here this morning on the morning drive, coming down on southbound I-25 all the way down through at least here I-76. It's just a lot of stop and go traffic in here. From the map up that way, you can see some of that heavy traffic on I-25, I-76, 270. Very typical stuff for us. About 10 to 12 minutes on 270. We're looking at almost 20 minutes on I-76, and now over 20 on southbound I-25. We've had one bad crash over here to the north side of town. It's along Sheridan between 88th and 84th. I'm still not going to call for an alternate route at this point because one lane is open both on the north and southbound side and minimal delays at this point. The rest of the drive doesn't look too bad. Down to the south, the fog continues to lift. You can see that from the camera right by Monument Hill. You actually see some of the fog here drifting across the camera, but that sunshine should break it up pretty quickly.
A federal judge deals the Trump administration another legal defeat on DACA.
Late last night, a judge ruled the government must accept new applications to the program.
And this goes farther than the previous rulings, which would only require the government to continue processing existing applications.
Now, this latest ruling doesn't take effect for 90 days to allow the Trump administration time to write a new memo justifying the end of DACA.
So what kind of impact might this have here in Colorado?
This morning, Denver 7's Nicole Brady sat down with a DACA recipient and community organizer.
I just spoke to Ana Rodriguez with the Colorado People's Alliance. She's also a DACA recipient herself, about how this decision will affect the immigrant community here.
So these are folks that were too young, that maybe they were still gathering the required documents proving that they got here at the correct age, and so now maybe they're able to do it. And so this is an opportunity for them if the program actually is able to be implemented. There's not a clear understanding of who would be eligible but hasn't been able to apply. Right now we really only know that we have around 18,000 folks who currently have DACA.
18,000 immigrants in Colorado currently enrolled in DACA, and an unknown number who may be able to apply if this ruling does indeed take effect after 90 days. But it's not a permanent solution. Immigrant advocates are still pushing for a Clean Dream Act bill in Congress. They're optimistic after the House last week pushed for a vote on a number of bills, including a bipartisan proposal that would protect dreamers from deportation and also provide some border security, although not a border wall. Also very important, this judge's ruling doesn't take effect for 90 days, so advocates are reminding immigrants interested in applying for DACA not to do anything right now. And if anyone offers to help you right now, it may in fact be a scam.
Today, a Senate committee is hearing a bill to increase penalties for people repeatedly caught driving drunk. Under current law, anyone arrested for driving impaired faces at least 30 days in jail and a $500 fine. This bill would double those.
This issue was brought to my attention by a constituent in the Brighton area who had a tragedy in her life. Her husband was killed by a drunk driver a few years ago.
Well, here in Colorado, with our legal marijuana industry, officers have to worry about not only drunk driving, but drug driving. However, field tests for marijuana intoxication are still kind of an evolving science. So, some researchers at the University of Chicago are testing a new way to determine if you're sober enough to get behind the wheel. It's an app, and it's called Am I Stoned? Right now, its primary goal is to inform users of their own level of intoxication so they can make better decisions, like staying off the road if they're too high. The app gives you tasks to test your memory, your cognitive speed, your reaction time, fine motor skills, kind of like a digital field sobriety test. Now, in the future, officers could use something very similar during traffic stops.
Time now is 6:35. If you've ever been surprised by a big hospital bill, there may be some good news on the way. What the Trump administration is considering to help you compare the costs of care.
But next, Denver police are keeping a closer eye on your speed in residential areas and school zones, and you may not even notice them.
Time now 6:38. You may want to think twice before speeding or running a red light in Denver.
You should always be thinking that way, right? Because it can be dangerous. Now it may be costly as well. City of Denver has some extra eyes now out on the road to track your, well, for bad driving habits.
Denver 7's Connor Wist is live at Denver Police Traffic Operations. And Connor, with more people moving to Denver, more resources are being deployed in residential areas.
At any given time during the week, the driver population in Denver can triple. And as we've used with our different map applications, it might take you on streets that are not main ones in the city, and those could have some lower speed limits that you might be speeding through. So you might see some of these Denver police speed vans that are around town, and those are going to be tracking your speed. So the car takes pictures and the agent records the citation. They are mostly staged in school zones, on streets bordering parks, residential areas, and sometimes in work zones on highways. The Denver Police Department also takes recommendations from you on where to add enforcement.
We've evolved from just, guessing where we need to go to actually responding to citizens' requests. We get that probably, 2 to 5 times a week. We'll get a request from a citizen, from citizens to enforce in their neighborhood.
The speed vans have limits on where they're actually allowed to be at. They have to be in a residential area of 30 miles per hour or less. And in order for you to get a ticket, you have to be driving more than 10 miles per hour over the speed limit. And I asked, with all these people that are moving to Denver, Mitch and Molly, if they've seen an increase in the number of tickets. And they say that it's actually stayed pretty average, but they've seen 26% less speeders in the city. So I think that's good news.
Yeah, and now after your report, everybody's going to go 9 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Yeah, slowly inching along. Yeah.
Thanks, Connor.
So developers want to bring nearly 100 new affordable housing units to Denver.
But if the city wants it, the developers are going to need a sizable loan from the city of Denver.
It's now 6:40. First pitch at the Rockies game today is at 1:10, so we've got a beautiful afternoon game. Yesterday, a little rain and snow. Today, sunshine. It's going to be about 62 degrees by first pitch, and then some mid to upper 60s for highs here in town this afternoon. We're tracking a cold front. I'll show you what that's going to do to our temperatures tomorrow coming up.
2 crashes on other ends of town. One up in Broomfield at Midway and Elm, just off of 287. The other one right near Parker Road and E470. That sounds pretty serious. You can see the hazy sun here at I-25 and University. Pretty heavy traffic on that southbound side. About 20 minutes to the tech center.
Welcome back. Here's a look at our state capitol. Gorgeous day. Look at the sunshine, trees budding out there. The grass is actually green. Nice spring day, and Lisa's going to have your forecast. I think you're going to like this one today.
I think so, too.
So Colorado's first task force aimed at combating sexual assault is going to be announced today.
Adams County law enforcement agencies won the grant, making this all possible. Denver 7's Megan Lopez is live in Brighton. And Megan, this is really about sharing information for these agencies.
It really is, Mitch and Molly. So these departments, these police agencies, are really going to be looking at other jurisdictions to kind of see what works for them and try to take those best practices and then apply them on a wider scale. So the Brighton and the Commerce City Police Departments are teaming up with the 17th Judicial District and the U.S. Department of Justice in order to create this task force. They were one of only 7 agencies nationwide picked for this pilot program, and they were given about $700,000 to make it happen. The Commerce City Police Department already has a website up to try to make reporting sexual assault easier. You can report it online, you can do it over the phone, you can also do it in person, or you can have an advocate report that assault for you. Still, the police department says 70% of sexual assault cases go unreported. And along with this task force, Commerce City is reaching out to victims during Sexual Assault Awareness Month to let them know they're not alone.
I'm Kim Messina, Victim Services Manager, and I'm here to help you.
And I'm here to help you.
I'm here to help you.
Estoy aquí para ayudarte.
Estoy aquí para ayudarte.
So we're really waiting to find out a little bit more information about how this data-driven pilot program is really going to work here in Adams County and what they're going to be doing for those victims in order to try to help them out. That press conference announcing those details is set to happen in just a few hours. I'm live in Brighton. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
All right, thanks, Megan. And you can help bring awareness to the issue of sexual violence today just by throwing on a pair of blue jeans. Denim Day dates back to 1992. That's when Italy's Supreme Court overturned a rape conviction because the victim's jeans were so tight. Justices said she must have helped her rapist remove them, implying consent. Activists now use denim as a symbol to protest sexual assault and support rape prevention efforts.
A little crisp outside right now, but the sun is coming out. It's going to be good, huh? Yeah?
It's going to be beautiful. Yeah, and yesterday was, well, it was a little rainy and snowy, but that did not stop thousands of women coming downtown. Take a look at this. This was the Girls Rising Breakfast. I got to meet some phenomenal women and girls.
Cool.
They gave away, the Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce, 4 scholarships at this.
Did they?
Not to these gals, but to 4 other women that are moving on to, you know, bigger, brighter things. It was awesome. Great event. You can see the gals there on
Were those
stage.
all gingers at the beginning? The first picture?
There were a few of them, yeah.
So it must have been very intelligent women there. Just saying.
Sure was, Mal. Sure was.
Crickets.
So it's such a good event, though, and Denver 7, obviously a proud sponsor. So thank you guys for having us.
Awesome.
We had a great time. Beautiful today. This is, I think, the weather we all wanted before that event yesterday. We're in the mid right now, low to mid 30s. Pretty nice start. Lots of sunshine. Thumbs up by noon. We should be at about 59 degrees by noon, and then some mid 60s by 4. Beautiful day today, 65 for a high here in Denver. Lots of sunshine expected statewide. Now, our temperatures will be near normal today, so it's going to push us about 20 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday. We are tracking a weak cold front. That's going to move in tomorrow. I'll show you what that does, how that changes everything up here in the next 24 hours, coming up in just a minute. Right now, though, this is the sunrise. Gorgeous shot. Clear skies over Denver. You can see still a little hazy. We had some low-lying clouds, a little patchy fog this morning. That's all starting to mix out here in Denver, but as you get farther south toward the Springs, still a little foggy there. You'll hit that once you get closer to Monument Hill, too. A beautiful shot, though, from our Viero